All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High in the proper names in the Paleo Hebrew tongue. I want to say Kah Halayim, La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Bakakadash Ma'amaf. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, whom the world eagerly and willingly called God Jehovah. Bahashim meaning in the name of. Yahushai meaning he who delivers, whom the world eagerly and willingly called JC today. I want to give a double honor to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who were well, and another double honor to my elder as well, Ahara Wannabe Allah of the Lions Den Camp here in Jacksonville, Florida. Salutations to the 144,000 hopeful elect, pushing their truth across the four winds, and to the one-third remnant believers on Yahweh Shem Shah, Shalom, Shalom. It's going to be a quick lesson put together through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah, and I pray that it be edifying. So this is going to be a quick lesson about, the so-called woman, but not just any woman, but the so-called black woman and the pride that they have and the wickedness that they carry, and how we as man should put Yahweh Shema Shah first. So this is 2nd Esdras chapter 14 and verse 13. It says, "Now therefore set thine house in order." So right, how do we set our house in order? By making sure the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah is flowing through each and every single last individual in our house. That each and every single last individual in our house are considering Yahweh Shema Shah, in all their actions. You see what I'm saying? Looking, at your family and seeing the spirit of the Lord basically flow through them, from your teaching, from what you taught them, and your actions as a man basically rubbing off on your family in righteousness, right? It says, "And reprove thy people." How do you reprove your people? You reprove your people by telling them what's wrong and basically showing them the correct way, to fix a problem. So during the time of wrath, Yahweh Shema Shah can have mercy on them. So you want your children to move in a manner of being righteous, so Yahweh Shema Shah can look on them for good and not evil in a time of calamity. You want your wives to move righteous, so the Lord can have mercy on them. It's the scripture that said that the woman is going to be saved in childbearing. So the time's going to come to where a lot of women are going to be running up to you, trying to see what manner of man you are, to basically seek protection, to have guidance and protection, and to basically eat, in a time where, a man ain't checking for no woman to basically caress them and to take care of them like they were, in the early 2000s. You see what I'm saying? The men ain't gonna have that spirit. They gonna have a spirit to basically trample over women and children and the weak. You see what I'm saying? So it says, and reprove thy people. So we have to reprove our people and, let them know what's going on. We have to set our house in order and allow our families to get a fighting chance, a head start to serve the Lord and to fear the Lord. Because people only want to fear the Lord, when they going through something. So I was at work, a few months ago, and this woman, I don't know what she did, but I could just tell by her spirit that she used to be a prideful woman, and now she's sitting in the hospital room, and all she desired is to feel the sun. She could physically see the sun, out her window, but she tell me that she want to feel the sun. She want to go outside, but she can't, because she's stuck in a room with cancer. And she was telling me her story, and she was telling me about her 3 children, and telling me how she wasn't the best person, basically growing up. So when they finally, now if a woman say that means she was super prideful when she was young, because you can't get a woman to take any form of accountability, in this life. So I go in the room, she got the cancer, her head shaven and stuff like that, and she just desiring to be released from the prison that the Lord gave her, and that's basically being stuck in a hospital room. So now, they cleave. Once they get old, they want to cleave to the Lord and want to, but they really don't cleave to the Lord in their heart. They only cleave to the Lord when they need something, when it's beneficial to them. They really be worldly. So now when they get older, they want to cleave to the Lord and fake it. But you still got to go through those, you still got to pay for the sins of your youth, So you could be young, prideful, beautiful, and you could be, what I'm saying? The Lord will judge you 20 years from now. And now in 20 years, you want to know why you just going through so much shit, why you going through shit back to back to back, why you can't find a good man, why you can't find love. You see what I'm saying? Why you can't have the things that you want or the things that you need in this life. And ultimately it's because when you suffer with the Lord, you have to suffer for righteousness' sake. And people think gain is godliness. So it gets to a point to where these women, they grow old and then they try to start their walk with the Lord at 40. You see what I'm saying? You might not get the reward till you 50. You get what I'm saying? I remember going through it for 10 years straight. I said I was an Israelite in 2016. From 2016 all the way to shit now, 2025. I was going through straight hell because of my sins. You see what I'm saying? And then now that I'm finally getting to a point of growth, in the Lord, like, which this whole process been a growth period, but it's certain things that you have to get over before you can get closer to the Lord. So you'll be stuck on this level or that level for a long time. I'm not going to ramble too much. You see what I'm saying? So it gets to a point to where once you get to that learned your lesson, your growth, and the Lord kind of remove that rod off you for a moment, you begin to enter into a form of peace with the Lord, but you still going through affliction because you're on this earth, but you're not going through it how you used to go through it. Right? So we have to reprove. I'm just going to get back to the scripture. It says, now therefore set thine house in order and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble. So we have to comfort our people, the men, women, and children, with these words, the words of Yahweh Shem Shah, and it ain't going to always come out how you want it to come out. In this life, everybody be so prideful. They don't want to hear anything that basically, they don't want to hear somebody say something in a manner or have any form of fluctuation of tone of speech about themselves. So whenever you say it in a kind of angry manner because a motherfucker done did the same dumb shit 10 times, and now they got an attitude because you yelled at them. You see what I'm saying? Well, you wouldn't have survived in the old world. You would have been stoned, because you're getting your emotions about somebody telling you about yourself. But if somebody telling you about yourself, obviously it's because they love you. You see what I'm saying? So right, it says, and comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature. So right, and that's what we have to do as men. You might have to suffer losing somebody you love, losing a wife on this side, let her fall back into the world and fucking destroy herself and ultimately be trampled over, rape, rob, and pillage and treated like straight shit in the streets, and constantly. And you're going to lose her. And then when she lose you, she might have fun for a good 6 months. You see what I'm saying? But after that, she gonna spend the next 20 years looking for a man like you. I see it all the time. I see it in my family members. I just seen it in so many women in my family. It don't make no sense. They'll lose a good man, in the younger years. You see what I'm saying? By not understanding the will of the Lord and what a true man is. They want you to be a man according to their emotions, but not a man according to how God made men and what the Lord put in man. You see what I'm saying? The manner of being a man walking around with testosterone. You see what I'm saying? They so busy trying to be equal to the testosterone, to match it to where it's hindering them from being a woman. Because they constantly had the mindset of think like a man. You get what I'm saying? So now when a man go do something, you see what I'm saying? Now she got to do it. You see what I'm saying? So now you go deal with a woman. You see what I'm saying? Because it's your God-given right to deal with multiple women. But Esau basically put it in these women's mindset that a man's supposed to be monogamous, which is against our nature. So now you're trying to force us to do something against our nature. And when you can't fulfill that role of, being a man with one woman, Now, basically, you got to lose your whole family, and you get put on child support and some more shit. You see what I'm saying? Name one. You know what I'm saying? So it just gets to a point to where the women of this generation, they are jealous because they don't have, male parts, basically. Because they don't have testicles, because they can't be a man, because they can't be a progenitor of life. So they jealous of it. They envious at it, to where they try to create their own form of masculinity and try to basically demonize you for being a true man according to God. So it just gets to a point where the Lord told us to put off now the weak nature. Right? He says, verse 14, let go from thee mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste to flee from these times. So, and that's just what it is. So no matter what we lose on this side, whether it be a woman, your children, or a woman that you are deeply in love with, or whatever case may be, well, you have to replace her with the scriptures. You see what I'm saying? And then when it start to creep up again, you replace her with a hobby. And then you replace her with another hobby. You see what I'm saying? So it just gets to a point to where you got to haste to flee from these times. We see what's going on. Every brother in this truth, we see what's going on, and we we deep off in prophecy. Then you got your dumbass, emotional ass woman over there, mad about some small shit, trifles. She just mad about the smallest shit. Whole time, damn Russia sending Wagner troops to go fight American troops in Venezuela, and your dumbass over here mad because I told you to go do whatever, and you ain't got no choice. You ain't got no choice but to listen. And now you get in your feelings because you want to be sexually, I ain't gonna say that, because you want to be liberated, and because you want to be strong and independent. You don't want anybody to have authority over you. And that's going to be this very same mindset that's going to get you fucked up and replaced. You get what I'm saying? Because in this life, somebody's going to have authority over you. And that's just what it is. Somebody is going to have rulership over you. You could be on the street. You could be a street nigga, right? Out here shooting and killing, feeling as if that you don't take orders from nobody until you get your ass in that prison cell. And then now you in a prison cell with that nigga that could do 1,000 push-ups and 1,000 pull-ups. And he say, nigga, sit down when you piss. What you gonna do then? You see what I'm saying? Now he got full authority over you. It ain't nothing that you could do about it. So in this society, somebody's gonna have authority over you. Like the scriptures say, our elders who rule well, our apostles, our bishops, our big brothers, they have authority in the truth. It's a ranking in the truth. Everything is done in decency and in order and it's truth. You see what I'm saying? So our elders have rule over us, right? It says, so let go from the immortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. So we finna see some even more crazy shit come. And when we see shit get crazy out here, right, you still gonna have women that been with men of the Lord that's still taking their time, dragging their feet to be that perfect servant. You still gonna have women dragging their feet. So when the time come, brothers, if you got a woman like that at your house, and when the time come where Isaiah 4:1 come to pass and 7 women gonna take a hold, make sure she number 7. Put her ass way at the end, because a woman that you don't know, you see what I'm saying, she gonna do everything that she can to please you, because she just gonna want to eat in that time. She just gonna want to be protected in that time. So she gonna do everything to please you. You don't want to walk around with a female that was like David's wife. I believe it was Michael. I forgot how to say it, but I believe it was Michael. David's so happy that he had basically won the Ark of the Covenant, and only thing she mad about it because he was jumping around dancing for the Lord, and his private kind of showed a little bit. So she was mad about that. Whole time the whole city rejoicing. You just mad because the Lord gave this man rulership and authority. You see what I'm saying? You mad because it's not you. You mad because you don't have the same type of light that he has. Because these modern day women, they want to overshine their man. They want to shine bright over their man to basically have attention. And that's just all it is, man. They just jealous. You know, they're jealous of the you know, because they want to be man. And you have to, you know, be able to spot it out. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, this is 1 Kings chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, "Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die, and he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man." So, right, you got to show yourself a man in these times. You have to show yourself a man and understand that we at the bottom. You feel what I'm saying? And until we have some form of power, that's the only way that these women gonna get right. You see what I'm saying? And this is just for all men. You know, if you could be a celebrity in this life, right? You could be down Chris Brown, and you could be dealing with a woman on a low ass level working at McDonald's, right? As soon as you, you Chris Brown, she work at McDonald's. As soon as you get with her, you know, and kind of show any form of love towards her, she gonna automatically feel like she on your level. And then now all the fame and all the female, all the attention that she getting just for being around you, she gonna eventually feel as if that she on your level and she can't go back down. And then eventually you gonna fuck around and start a family with her, and she gonna end up putting you on child support and taking half of your shit. So she was just at this low ass level. She's still at this low ass level mentally, and she don't even know how to handle everything that she's all the riches and the fame, and it gets to her head. You see what I'm saying? So it just gets to a point where in this life, it don't matter what level you on, you're gonna have problem when it comes to dealing with women, unless you are disrespectful to women. And that's just what it is. Unless you are completely disrespectful, that's the only way you're gonna get some form of respect in this life. You see what I'm saying? If you're a man of the Lord and you love the Lord, you got to understand these women are not going to respect you, right? It says, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man, and keep the charge of the Lord thy power to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself. So, right, that's the only way you're going to prosper in this life, if you put Yahweh Bashim Shah first in your heart, not just with your mouth. Because a lot of people be saying some shit just with their mouth. You see what I'm saying? But their heart be far from the Lord. As soon as they get angry, they get to tell you. As soon as that woman that claim that she love the Lord get angry, she gonna say some shit out her mouth. She gonna say some shit out, curse God and die. That's what she gonna say out her mouth once them trials and tribulations come upon her, man. So that's why the scriptures say, though that they that have wives be as though you don't have a wife. You see what I'm saying? Because these women can fuck around and get you killed out here. You know, as soon as all hell break loose, she don't trust in the Lord. She go run and take that chip. Now she coming home with a goddamn Band-Aid on her hand and shit. You see what I'm saying? Kind of talking like an android and shit, asking you all type of strange questions, asking you what time you going to sleep and shit. Next thing you know, you got all type of ice at your house. You see what I'm saying? So right, it just gets to a point to where, man, you gotta be ready to lose. You see what I'm saying? And if you're a woman, you know, that truly serve the Lord, truly love the Lord, you got to be ready to go through some things, man. And that's just what it is. You got to prepare your mind for what you got to go through. You don't want to be a damn dummy and be talking all this shit to your man, right? And then now, when you see that the Lord dealing with your man in Jacob's trouble, now you want to sit right here and try to come like you was all humble that whole time. Nah, what's that shit you said on damn November 14th at 2 a.m? You see what I'm saying? So it just gets to a point to where you have to put the Lord first and be as though you don't have a wife. This is Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 3. It says, give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. So right, you can't give your strength. Giving your strength to women is something that'll destroy a king. You see what I'm saying? So it just gets to a point to where you got to let her know you have to. I ain't gonna even say that. I'm gonna give you some real advice on what I do every day. I treat everybody with respect. You know, even my women. You know, I treat my women with respect and treat them like, you know, good human beings. I don't treat them as if they don't matter, as if they ain't shit. But they know how I can get. They know I get like that. Like, you could be replaced. It's an easy task, man. It's an easy task to replace you. You see what I'm saying? Don't ever get too comfortable. You feel me? Don't ever get too comfortable, because your time will come. You know, especially if the Lord don't want you there. The Lord will make it easy. The Lord, what the scripture say, go not in the streets looking for a woman. If thou desire a woman in thy heart, the Lord gonna send her your way. So the Lord gonna, yeah, son, yeah, go ahead. I don't want that bitch. Plain and simple. I don't want her around you. She's dimming your light, and I don't like how she moving. So I got this right here for you, son. You see what I'm saying? So just go ahead and get over that hurt and find you a hobby. And this is what I got for you right now. Don't worry, I'm gonna destroy her later. She gonna be stuck in a damn hospital, begging to see the sun in 20 years, fucked up with cancer. You see what I'm saying? So it just gets to, well, keep going. It says, give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. So, right. So our strength is in Yahweh Shem Shai, and we not finna sit right here and allow, a woman to basically put us on a low level when we know that we gods on the earth. We gods with a small G, and women hate that. They hate it. It's always a debate on, we could have babies without a man. It's always a debate on, the child is what the mother's is. Well, you need to go read Numbers 1-18. You see what I'm saying? It's always a debate on what a woman could do and what a man could do. It's always a woman trying to compare themselves to a man instead of just being women. You see what I'm saying? So, right. That's why we can't wait till all hell break loose. We're going to see how strong you is when the Lord let all these schizophrenic ass, rapey ass, cannibal, crazy, animalistic ass niggas out. There's an article going out how it was a black woman saying, going to the white man, basically saying, we just hope that y'all can just destroy and do away with black men. You see what I'm saying? The whole time you get on social media, you don't see black man, basically, or so-called black man, basically talking down on black women. There's always a so-called black women talking down on black men because they are fucking jealous because we are gods on the earth, because every single woman on this earth want us. Every single nation of women want us and desire us. So you have to understand, when you get around your woman, she'll probably get around her friends and she'll try to talk down on you. You see what I'm saying? Around her friends, because she don't want her friends to to find you attractive. I had a woman do that to me, and I end up having down there both her friends. You see what I'm saying? Try to talk down on me, a few years ago, and was leaving me for another dude. I probably was in like 10th grade. It was talking down on me in front of her friends. I said, okay. You see what I'm saying? Both her friends. You see what I'm saying? So it just gets to a point to where that's the shit that these women do. And they trying to do this same shit on a large scale, right? By basically, talking down on us in front of the white woman and all the Arab women, and in the face of all the women in the world, and all the women in the world, like, shit, we could treat them right, give them here. You see what I'm saying? Now your dumb ass over there ain't nothing but a sex toy to the other mans of the other nations, because ain't nobody's finna marry you because of your attitude. You didn't receive the right amount of discipline. Your mama didn't teach you shit. Your mama didn't teach you how to be a wife. You see what I'm saying? And didn't teach you to fix your attitude because she ain't had nobody to teach us. She didn't receive the correct form of discipline. I'm going to keep going. This is 1 Esdras chapter 4 and verse 25. And it says, wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father and mother. So you're going to love your wife better than you love your father and your mother. You see what I'm saying? It says, yeah, many there be have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sake. Right. We ain't going to be that. We're going to be like David told King Solomon, show thyself a man. We're not going to run out of our wits whenever your woman in her emotions. And then what they try to, you got to see a woman on the emotional level. They always try to force you to see things from a woman's point of view, but they ain't going to never force their daughters or their nieces or the younger woman to see things from a man point of view and to come at a man submissively, soft spoken with sobriety. They ain't gonna teach a woman all these things to basically get a true man's attention. You see what I'm saying? They want you to see things from a woman's point of view and have you being an emotional creature. When the Lord told us to show ourselves man, the Lord told us to basically set our house in order. They want you to basically like that same slave mentality where a slave woman would basically teach her son to obey the slave master because she don't want her son to be buck broke. She don't want her son to be hung. You see what I'm saying? She don't want her son to be unalived. You get what I'm saying? But it gets to a point to where if your son come out and he automatically got his father's genes, you're just going to get to a point where they're going to have to hang him because he ain't going to be able to survive in this society. You see what I'm saying? He ain't going to be able to survive with somebody trying to, violate this man via a buck breaking. You see what I'm saying? So it just gets to a point to where you have to show yourself a man. You don't want to be a servant. Many there be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sake. Many also have perished, have erred, and sinned for women. So, all right, the men of the Lord, man, we ain't coming in that spirit. We ain't coming in that spirit. We coming in the spirit of Yahushua. We are valiant, man, just like our big brother Yahushua was. You'll say one little cursor word. Now, all of a sudden, you ain't no man of the Lord no more. You see what I'm saying? Whole time she called herself a woman of the Lord. She get to eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. Oh, you still a woman. Oh, that don't matter no more. The good Lord don't care about that. She get to have intercourse with a different man every single year. Oh, that don't matter no more. You see what I'm saying? So it just gets to a point to where they constantly trying to downplay our experience as men of the Lord. You get what I'm saying? And trying to be holier, be better. They're always trying to find a reason to be better than us. Whether it comes to sports, life, scriptures, they just claim that they better than us and they got something that we can't have. When in all actuality, it's the other way around. Proverbs chapter 8, the scriptures say, unto you, O man, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men. And the Lord gave this word and this wisdom, knowledge, understanding to men to teach everybody else. You see what I'm saying? So we ain't finna sin. We ain't finna become servants for no woman's sake. We gonna continue to show ourselves men. And the scriptures say, if you teaching the right thing, you're gonna be hated. All the prophets were hated. That's how people don't understand. This is Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 4. It says, a virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that maketh the shame is as rottenness in his bones. Right? You see what I'm saying? So it's just like trying to hold on to a damn scorpion. Constantly have something to argue or bicker about in this life, man. That's why, me personally, I don't be really too much worried about women. Now I see a woman, Lord, she beautiful, she pretty. You get what I'm saying? But I ain't on that falling in love and love at first sight shit. I don't even think I could fall in love with a bitch no more. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. You see what I'm saying? I could just be a good person and talk to you and be a great person for 40 years straight. But as far as like loving and you know what I'm saying? I love the Lord. All that other shit is distractions at this point. So, right, a virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that make it a shame is as rottenness in his bones, right? It's over with for the so-called black woman. And, I ain't never been with any other woman besides, a few northern tribe, mostly brown-skinned black women. You see what I'm saying? Just keeping it a buck. So it just gets to a point to where I've been on some Clark Kent shit when it comes to women. Like I work at a hospital full of women. And I'm like a brother. Like when I talk to women, I try to see them as my blood sister, like how my sister is. How I can have a conversation with my sister and be nice. I don't gotta be overly flirtatious with hella women. You see what I'm saying? Or just trying to talk and pop everything. That ain't me no more. You see what I'm saying? And women be seeing this shit. Women be seeing this shit and they be amazed how I be, maneuvering around the hospital and ain't no woman got no story about me yet. So they be amazed about it and it make them even more, intrigued to where now I see I see Jacob's trouble shit on a small level to where it's always, I'm going to say a good 50 women right now trying to prove to me why I should choose them. And I just be chilling. You see what I'm saying? I just be chilling. I'm just like, man, you got a pretty face, but you still a demon on the inside. You like me till I tell you can't eat crabs no more. You feel what I'm saying? You like me until you find out I'm a Hebrew. This woman stopped me today in front of like a whole bunch of nurses. I pull up to the 8th floor, and when I walked in, this woman that I got on my Instagram, she say, "Hey, you," and I put my finger to my mouth, and I shook my head before all the Edomite nurses can see her and can hear her. And then she kind of caught on. And she was like, she started to whisper to me. She was like, yeah, you one of those, is it Hebrew or Islam? I said, I'm a Hebrew. And then she's like, I was wondering, because my dad was asking me questions about that. And I was trying to get some insight. And I just said, yeah, just write me. You see what I'm saying? So it just gets to a point to where these same, man, when all hell break loose, you gonna see all that pride, all that your wife that be talking that shit, that claim shit Israelite. You gonna see all that pride come up off her face when she see those motherfucking 80 women trying to just want a chance. Them 80 women gonna do anything because they don't know you. Now your wife that you done been with 8, 9, 10, 15 years, you done been talking shit for 13 years, 14 years. Her, she gonna see that shit and then she gonna try to act like she ain't treat you like shit the whole time. It's gonna be too late. Now your ass gotta be number 20. You see what I'm saying? You could try again. Try to work your way up to the top. You see what I'm saying? But for now, I don't got nothing for you for the next couple of months. You just continue to, you know what I'm saying? That's a spirit we're gonna have to be in, man. Because it's gonna get to a point to where they gonna know that we were gods on the earth, small G, and that they offended the sons of the Most High. And that's just what it is. You're gonna have to let her sit in that, man. So right. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 36 and verse 22. It says, the beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and a man loveth nothing better. Right? We love beautiful women. I remember I used to be a super simp ass, duck ass nigga, man. That shit made me mad when I think about it. I used to be a super simp. Man, I see a beautiful brown skin. I love them brown skin women, man. It don't make no sense. I see a old beautiful brown skin woman. I've been ready to run out of my fucking wits, man. It's crazy thinking about it. All right? So we all love beautiful women. But now it just get to a point to where the Lord done took me through so much trial and tribulation when it comes to women. Yeah, you can't give me no butterflies no more. I could just treat you like a good human being, and I could just go through the motions with you. But as far as like all that, you know what I'm saying, extra relationship shit, I'm good off that, man. You can keep that shit over there. Because I already know how you're going to get 5 years from now once you're comfortable around me. You ain't going to respect me 5 years from now because you don't respect the Lord. So, right, it says, verse 22, the beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and a man loveth nothing better. If there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue. Right, a lot of these black women don't got that. That bitch got oysters under her tongue. Crabs, catfish, and a damn serpent teeth in her mouth somewhere. It says, if there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men. So right. It says, he that getteth the wife begetteth the possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. And that's just what it is. You're going to get a wife, you're going to get a possession. These women these days, you can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me this. You try to give somebody some constructive criticism, you know what I'm saying, about themselves, and they take it as verbal abuse. You see, I ride with a female one time. I say, hey, don't park next to that traffic van because I got to go in here and I got to get something right quick. Don't park. She said, man, I look at her, I said, bro, I said, don't park. Park right there. It just gets to a point where small shit they can't understand. That small shit that you ain't going to be able to understand in Jacob's trouble is that same small shit that's going to get your ass dragged away. You see what I'm saying? It's going to get your dumb ass dragged away, and you're going to be somewhere in a fucked up predicament, wishing that you just took orders, wishing that you knew how to take orders, wishing that you grew up in a society to where your parents were strict. You see what I'm saying? So, right. It says, he that getteth the wife begetteth the possession, a help like unto himself. Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. So, right. If it ain't right. And we as Israelite man represent a hedge, man. You know, we keep our family from danger through the spirit of power of Yahweh by Shem Shah. And when you ain't got that, ain't going to be no protection. It's going to be spoiled. A lot of you Israelite women going to have to go through that Isaiah chapter 32 alone. You know, you want to be strong and independent. And now a hungry nigga kick down your door with his 7 friends. You going to think you in a motherfucking Jewish tunnel. You see what I'm saying? Going through it. So, right. It says, where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. And he that have no wife will wander up and down mourning, right? Because the Lord made man. It says, scripture said he made man not to be alone. But in this society, it's like you gonna go through hella disrespect just to keep your family together. You see what I'm saying? You gonna go through more disrespect trying to keep your family together than you would single. Because a single woman gonna try to fight. A lot of single women gonna try to fight and show you why, they the perfect the perfect white woman for you to settle down with. And then 4 years from now, then she gonna start to disrespect you. She might even start disrespecting you by year 2. You see what I'm saying? So you got to keep them in a constant state of competition. You got to keep the woman in a constant state of competition when you get in a relationship. You see what I'm saying? I get to work, nurses only work 3 days. It's always a new set of nurses every day. And it's like they try to prove why they the best version for you. Shit you not. And I'm trying to tell you, this is on all levels. Someone be 70 years old. And I'm thinking to myself, how she looking to me and talking to me and the mannerism that she having towards me. And she like, yeah, I'm 70. And she, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, this shit crazy. Why you not married? Why are you trying to prove to a 29-year-old man why you feel me? 19 years old, 20, 21, 22, 23. It's all there. You got to keep them in the constant state of competition. Because the moment you sit right here and try to establish something with her and try to be a good man to her, she's going to disrespect you. You see what I'm saying? So you got to let her know. What Wayne said, don't you ever get too comfortable. You can't let her get too comfortable, because once you let her get comfortable, it's a wrap. So, right. And that's just what it is. I'm going to go to the next precept. So just get to a point where, man, keep in a constant state of competition, man. You know what I'm saying? Let her know off the rip. You're going to have to share me. Or just, you know what I'm saying? Just thug it. Don't even touch none of them. She might be depressed. She might be depressed as soon as you lay with her. Now you depressed. You see what I'm saying? You got to lock in with the Lord. Hey, Lord, point me to your daughter. Whichever one is best for me that you got for me, whichever 2, 3 is best for me, Lord, send me those. I won't go out there looking for my own, because I ain't going to pick the right one. So, right, this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 and verse 1. It says, blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife, whose number of his days shall be doubled. Right. And that's just what it is. You want to have virtuous women. It's hard to find that. And what King Solomon said, of a woman, I found none. So it's hard to find that in these days, man, because these women are Americanized. Even if she trying, she's still Americanized. Fuck around and have a wig on or something, or trying to be something that she not. You know what I'm saying? It says, a virtuous woman rejoices at her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace. Right? You have a woman that truly love the Most High. You're gonna be in peace, man. Y'all gonna make each other happy, because you're gonna be a man of the Lord that does things according to Yahweh Shem Yahshua's will and truth and sincerity and righteousness, and she gonna be falling under that same umbrella, trying her best to be righteous. So she ain't gonna say no fuck shit out her mouth. You see what I'm saying? And even if y'all have a point which all relationships have problems, even if y'all have a point to where y'all kind of angry at each other, she's still gonna consider Yahweh Shem Yahshua before she says some dumbass shit out her mouth. So she gonna say that dumbass shit out her mouth, and then the Lord gonna remember it in Jacob's trouble. You see what I'm saying? It says, verse 3, a good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Lord. So when you fear the Lord, you're gonna get a good wife. Plain and simple. And if you ain't giving to no man, because some wicked ass woman in the back. See, if you wasn't giving to no man, you might not be no good woman. Plain and simple. You just might not be no good woman. So you have to understand, just like it's bad men out here, it's bad women. Just like it's good men out here, it's good women. Right? It said a good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Lord. I got a woman that I work with right now, 51 years old, constantly trying to flirt with me. You feel what I'm saying? And my dog saw it today. She tried to flirt with me. She tried to understand how I have 2 wives at home. Right? And then as she trying to flirt with me, when she see that, yeah, I'm a young man, but I really move like a true man of the Lord, like a real man. You see what I'm saying? They hate when you move like a real man. So she tried to talk to me like she talked to her son. And I let her know all the time that shit ain't gonna fly. And then when ain't nobody around, she kind of throws sexual jokes out. And I just, you know what I'm saying? And I be on my Clark Kent, you know what I'm saying? Entertaining it, but not entertaining it to where she feel as if that she got a chance. You feel what I'm saying? Then she tell me, I've been married 3 times. Why you been married 3 times? Because you ain't no goddamn good woman. Ain't no way in hell you picked the wrong man 3 times. You see what I'm saying? And I asked her, you know, I was on my Clark Kent mode. I asked her, I said, which one of your ex-husbands do you miss the most? She said the first one. And that's the right. And I knew she was going to say it. You know, he probably told you she ain't going to never find a man like me. Now you somewhere telling me today, oh, I'm in my fun era. I'm having fun today. I'm chilling. I ain't know none of that relationship. You can't find a relationship because don't nobody want you. So now you sit right here trying to flirt with me and convince me on why I should be with you. You see what I'm saying? And flirt with me and try to reel me in, throw a little worm on the hook. You ain't no good woman. You see what I'm saying? So it just gets to a point where you got to be able to recognize this shit. Once you see women and you know women and you're able to maneuver around women and really finesse to get what you want out of these women, you're going to start to see life from a different standpoint. You know, you got to keep them in a constant state of competition. Don't let them get too close and let them know that their competition is right around the corner at all times. You know what I'm saying? And just keep it at that. It says, verse 4, whether a man be rich or poor, if he have a good heart towards the Lord, he shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance. So, right, I'm going to keep going. It says, there be 3 things that my heart feareth, and for the 4th, I was so afraid. The slander of a city, the gathering together of an unruly multitude, a false accusation, all these are worse than death. But a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman. And that's just what it is, man. You know, these women be faking like they for the sisterhood, but they only for the sisterhood if it can agree on one thing, to hate men. You know, once men say, all right, y'all won, we gonna leave y'all alone. And all they got is the sisterhood, the big strong ass, fat ass, Megan Thee Stallion ass, precious ass bitches gonna start bullying on the little cute little Janae Aiko ass females. All the cute little females gonna get bullied by the big gorilla ass bitches, and that's just what it is, man. You see what I'm saying? You think that women are amongst the most wickedest of this nation, man, of this earth, man. If you really sit down and listen to them talk, they get real wicked. So it just gets to a point to where you got to be able to maneuver and finesse with a certain facial expression, you know, fluctuation of tone and speech and mannerism. You know, you got to learn how to just finesse and just listen to them talk, and then you're going to see. So, right, it says, but a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman, and a scourge of the tongue which communicateth all. An evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro, right? Satan got a hold of her. You know, Satan got a full hold on her, so she ain't going to even be able to understand herself. So as soon as you tell her something about herself, the first thing she going to do is take it. She ain't going to take it as constructive criticism. She going to take it as verbal abuse, as if you know, trying to slander her or something. The whole time, you just trying to get your woman to the next level. You know, you're trying to get her to the next level, help her jump a damn hurdle. You used to get on one knee and put your hands out and tell her to put her foot on your hand so you could lift her up and boost her up to the next level. Her dumb ass get mad because you helping her. You know, that's the society. An evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro. He that have hold of her is as though he held a scorpion. You see what I'm saying? So as soon as you try to help her, she ain't gonna do nothing but stab you and poison you. Stab you and poison you. You see what I'm saying? So it just gets to a point to where Jacob's trouble is going to be the cleansing era. You know, ultimately, the ultimate cleansing era going to be when the missiles hit. But Jacob's trouble going to cleanse the pride out of a lot of these women. So they're going to be so scared just to see a man in Jacob's trouble when all hell break loose. Because you ain't going to know if that nigga is schizophrenic, a rapey ass, a grapey ass nigga, a crazy ass cannibal. So when you finally see a man with wisdom, knowledge, understanding, you're going to want to cleave to that man. You see what I'm saying? And we can't wait to see it. It's coming. We can't wait to see it. And that day, you going to see all pride wiped off of a black woman's face. You see what I'm saying? Because she ain't going to be able to, number one, she ain't going to have no damn makeup on. All that wig, she ain't going to have no wig on. She going to have her nappy ass head, and then she going to want you to accept her for her. You see what I'm saying? The whole time, she didn't accept you for you. And that's just what it's going to be. So, right. It says, verse 8, a drunken woman and a gatherer abroad. That's what they do. They go to the club. They go to club, they party hop. They get drunk. cause a great anger, and she will not cover her own shame. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. They want to be sexually liberated. You know, they want to go out there and ride the cock carousel and be who they and be liberated to do whatever they want to do. And then, you feel me? When they turn 40, they want to try to find a good man and a good husband and try to find a young man to try to finesse. You know, so it just gets to a point to where you have to be spiritually on point with Yahweh Shema Shai so you could see what's going on out here. And then the Lord will put you in this. I used to have a problem with women. You know, I was a hopeless romantic, what they call. You know, I never really had a good relationship with the women in my family. I always, you know, so it got to a point to where I was always trying to search for love in women. So by the time I got to a certain age, it was over with. It was over with for that shit. You see what I'm saying? And by the time I finally healed from everything that I went through as a child, I didn't care about seeking love from no woman no more. You see what I'm saying? Now it gets to a point to where I don't, all these women try to prove themselves to me and all that extra shit, you know, come around with, you know how a black woman be, when a black woman come around and she put on her work voice for you, you feel what I'm saying? She'll put on her that presentation voice when she answering a call center phone. You see what I'm saying? That's what I hear now from these black women. These black women being real nice until you give them that what they looking for, until they control you. What my elders say, a woman will look at you and she say it's just something about you that I want to destroy. And once she got it, once she got a hold of it, once she got you, somebody that a lot of women desired, then she gonna begin to trample over you as if you nothing, because then it's gonna increase her value. You see what I'm saying? So this shit so crazy, because I be at work sitting down, right? You got something called shift change when all the nurses finna go home and all the other nurses come in. So I go on lunch at that time. So if I sit down, I had this woman come sit next to me a couple of months ago. I'm thinking to myself, man, why the fuck you sitting over here? Sit next to me. So now women just stopping, looking at me like, he talking to her. I'm like, hell no, man. And she looking, just sit right here, just enjoying their attention. And I look at her, and she was trying to have a conversation, and she looking at all the women, just look at her, trying to, you know, just enjoy the competition, try to throw out, you know, something as if that I'm talking to her or something. You see what I'm saying? They ain't always in constant competition. This other woman stopped and tried to get my social media 2 days ago, and the same woman walked past with 3 women and see me having a conversation with her. They smile and they gonna look at the girl, and the girl look at them like, damn, why they looking at me like that for? And then she looked at me and then walked off. I'm just like, man, y'all some, you know what I'm saying? It just gets to a point where they constantly in competition, man. You see what I'm saying? The whole time I ain't touching none of them. So all right, I'm gonna keep going. It says, verse 9, the whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and her eyelids. You see what I'm saying? So she had them big ass cumbrellas on her eyes, them lashes. It says the whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and her eyelids. She'll look at you in a way to try to give you them seductive eyes to try to woo you in. You see what I'm saying? But she don't know that you got a real Mangekyo Sharingan. For those who watch Naruto, you know what I'm talking about. That Sharingan, you look at them, you really on some mind control, and you really controlling the situation. So they try to control situations with their seductive eyes. They'll put on their presentation voice. You're going to get to know her in about 2 weeks. You're going to get to know the real her in about 2 weeks to 2 months. So you got to watch out for it. It's lucky. This really like a little, you know, exhortation, a little game, you know. I'm on that red pill. Slovakia. But look, so you really got to pay attention to the tactics that they use to reel you in. But once she reel you in, you're going to be disappointed. It says the whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and her eyelids. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. Right? She have overmuch liberty to abuse herself. And that could be in many forms. She could be sexually liberated and want to ride the cock carousel. You know, she could see her mama treat her brothers like crap, right? So now she grew up treating her brothers like crap, get to hit her brothers whenever she want to hit her brothers, right? And then as soon as her brother hit her back, now her mama come and say something about that, but her mama ain't gonna say nothing about how she's mentally destroying her brother and how she's making her brother feel insecure about himself. As soon as her brother come and smack the shit out of her, you see what I'm saying? Her mama gonna come and beat her brother. You see what I'm saying? So now she gonna develop a form of mentality as if that it shouldn't be no correction for her actions because her mama didn't correct her when she was treating her brother that way. So now she gonna grow up treating her man the same way. You see what I'm saying? And now her man gonna knock her ass upside the head. And you know what she gonna do then? I'm gonna call my brother. And I know it all too well. Cause this same shit happened to me. I had to call my brother, hey man, I ain't got nothing to do with none of that. If you know what I'm saying? If it come down to it, hey, shit ain't got nothing to do with me. I just know how it go. And I know my sister. And most people don't have that mentality. You see what I'm saying? Most people don't have that mentality. So your sister will grow up abusing her brother, and then she'll grow up abusing her man, and then she gonna end up getting her ass knocked upside the head. You see what I'm saying? And then once she get knocked upside the head, she ain't grow up getting disciplined. You see what I'm saying? So she gonna feel as if that she's being wrong, as if she's being abused. Whole time, your daddy should have been, you know what I'm saying, correcting you and chastening you from youth. If that was the case, you would have been a worthy wife. You'd have been able to find a man that's, worth submitting to because you're a woman that's able to submit. So, right, it says, verse 11, watch over an impudent eye and marvel not if she trespass against thee. So you gotta keep an eye on your daughter, man. You got to keep an eye on your wife. You got to keep an eye on all of them. Make sure, and marvel not if she trespass against you, because she'll say she love you. But then when she mad at you, she gonna say, oh, I can get this nigga. What you gonna do? Another nigga could do better. They're gonna get to talking all that shit. So you gotta let them go out there and destroy themselves if they feel as if that they bigger than the fucking program. You ain't bigger than Yahweh Shema Shah's program. That's what you gotta understand. And I hate doing videos on women. You see what I'm saying? Because in my mind, I already conquered that era of my life, and you really don't even really matter too much to me when it's all said and done with. You see what I'm saying? So it just gets to a point to where you have to understand how to maneuver in this society when it's all said and done. So marvel not if she trespass against thee. Verse 12, she will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he had found a fountain, and drink of every water near her. By every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow. She's going to be sexually liberated. She's going to be open to do whatever she want to do. So marvel not if she trespass against thee. You see what I'm saying? She might come off as if she's modest. She might come up off as if she a wife. Proverbs 31. Well, you look in their bio, oh, God is within her. She would not fail. You see, the whole time there's a whole fucking harlot, man. She's a whole demon. That's what people have to understand. It says, verse 13, the grace of a wife delighted her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones. Right. And that's just what it is, man. That's just what it is, man. And you have to understand that the right woman will get the right response out of a real man. You got some degenerate ass man out here that get a good woman, fuck her over. You see what I'm saying? And turn her to a whole nother person. But the right, what the scripture say, a wicked man is giving us a portion to a wicked woman. A wicked woman is giving us a portion to a wicked man. So if you're a wicked ass man, you're gonna constantly come across a wicked woman. That's just what it is. But different people bring out it's women out there that bring out the best in you. Basically what I'm trying to say. It's a woman out there right now. She'll bring out the best, the best ever version of you. You see what I'm saying? Than the woman that you was with for, 8 to 30 years. You was with this woman 8 to 30 years, and she ain't do nothing but to destroy you mentally, physically, have you with low self-esteem and some more shit. Now the Lord get you with a woman, and you've been doing better with that woman, and you only been with her for 3 to 6 months. So right, it says, verse 13, the grace of a wife delighted her husband, and her discretion will fat his bones. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. These women don't have mind well instructed. That bitch young and turned. That's their slogan. Young and turned. You see what I'm saying? They finna sit down, open that quiver against every arrow. So, right, it says, a silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed, meaning she going to be able to receive corrective criticism. She going to be able to know what she stumbled at and fix it, right? It says, a shamefast and faithful woman is a double grace, and her countenant mind cannot be valued. So, right, so you're going to choose that woman over beauty any day, You're going to choose that woman that's going to sit down and listen to you and actually understand where you're coming from over a woman that's just beautiful any day. You see what I'm saying? Because she feels as if that beauty going to get her somewhere. That beauty ain't going to get your ass nowhere. Because you're going to get with the next person and they're going to see what type of person you is. Now you got extra trauma. And then now they're going to see what type of person you is and you're going to end up being alone. You see what I'm saying? You're going to end up being alone 30, 40 years from now, wishing that you could find a man just like that man that you disrespected. And ultimately, when you realize that you can't find it, what comes in? Acrimony, despair. You see what I'm saying? So it just gets to a point to where you're going to realize that you fucked up. It says, verse 16, as the sun, when it arises in the high heaven, so is the beauty of a good wife in the ordering of her house. All right. So, right, it ain't say beauty and physical beauty. It said the beauty of a good wife in the ordering of her house, meaning she on point. She on point when it comes to her house. She's going to build her house. Instead of foolish woman tearing it down, but a wise woman will build, her house. You see what I'm saying? It says, so is the beauty of a good wife in the ordering of her house, just being on point. Making sure her children have making sure her husband have what he needs first and foremost, making sure her children have what they need, making sure her sister wife have what she need. Coming through for the whole family. You see what I'm saying? It says, verse 17, as the clear light is upon the holy candlestick, so is the beauty of the face in ripe age. As the golden pillars are upon the sockets of silver, so are the fair feet with a constant heart. My son, keep the flowers. Hold on. Man. Basically, man, you want a woman that fear you. How about Shema Shah? You don't want to just go out there and just, pluck anything and just wife anything, which, I used to do it all the time. I used to go out there every week. It was just too easy. You see what I'm saying? To the Lord. And to the Lord wanted to play. It wasn't fun no more when it was time to pay back the Lord everything that you did. I had to go through 10 years of 10 years of shit. You feel me? I don't want no more problems. It says, verse 22, an harlot shall be accounted as spittle, but a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. So, right, a harlot is that spittle, something that don't matter, spit. You see what I'm saying? It says, a wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feared the Lord. And that's just what it is. A wicked woman is gonna see a wicked woman with a wicked man. But the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah gonna save all the righteous sisters for his 144,000 and the 1/3 men that call upon his name. Yahweh Shema Shah gonna make sure that righteous sister, have that man. The Lord is gonna preserve that righteous sister for that man. For her husband. It's already written on who the Lord go have with who. He just gonna do the matchmaking and have bring them families together, and them families gonna flourish and become a innumerable multitude in the kingdom. So, right. But a godly woman is given to him that feared the Lord. A dishonest woman contemneth shame, but an honest woman will reverence her husband. Right. An honest woman is going to reverence her husband, man. Your husband tell you some shit, it might not feel good. You're right, man. You right. You see what I'm saying? So it just gets to a point where it says, a dishonest woman contemneth shame, Ain't gonna never be able to take, accountability. Start a new argument. Whenever she loses an argument, she runs straight to her emotions. Right? It says, verse 25, it says, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. Right? A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. But she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. And that's just what it is, man. So it just gets to a point where you could talk all that shit to your husband, and the Lord gonna make you remember all that shit you said out your mouth. Where is it? So, right. This is Micah chapter 7 and verse 9. I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. So, right, the Lord. So you got to understand that you is that some of you women out there, some of you Israelite wives, you that indignation, you that righteous anger that the Lord gave you to a man to basically vex that man. You see what I'm saying? And one day the Lord gonna plead his cause, and you gonna be a part of that, be a judgment, and the Lord gonna give him a righteous woman. Until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me, he will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. And right, that's just what it is. You're gonna realize that you are talking shit to a true God, a true man of the Lord, a true priest, a true elder, a true apostle, a true bishop. You're gonna realize in that day. And you gonna be scared to look that man in his eyes if when that time come. Because you're going to remember all that shit, especially if he got spiritual power. Don't let him have no mind control. You feel me? Imagine how we going to feel. You've been doing this work all this time. And then now Yahushua, if Yahushua was to come visit the camp, hey, I'm Yahushua. Show you a little miracle. You're going to be scared to look that man in his eyes because the first thing going to come to your mind is all your sins. You're going to be the first thing you're going to do. And you're going to kiss his feet. Lord, please forgive me. I know I did this on this day, Lord. I did this on that day, Lord. Please forgive me. And I said this. That's the first thing gonna come to your mind. You know what I'm saying? A wicked nigga see the Lord get the action for a reward. He gonna get the action for a reward like he was just righteous, a Christian. Like you just righteous the whole time. Lord, take me with you. Nigga, you don't even deserve. What's my name? I then you go get that JC. That's crazy. So, right, it says verse 10, so he going to bear the indignation of the Lord because he sinned against the Lord till he plead his cause. It says, then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy God? So you got to imagine a black woman saying this, rolling her neck. Where is the Lord thy God? Mine eyes shall behold her, now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the street. So, right, you're going to be like shit in the street, nothing, spittle. Something on the ground, something that somebody roll over and keep, something that somebody step on, they kind of wipe their shoe off on the concrete. That's what you're going to be like because nobody's going to be checking for you in that day, man. That's what you have to understand. So that's why you have to fear the Lord. That's why you got to watch your mouth when you talk to the Lord. It's scripture, talk to the Lord's men. What the scripture said, it'd be better, it says it'd be better for somebody to basically have a millstone, tied about their neck and dropped into the sea than to offend the Lord's little ones. And these women don't understand. They just get to say shit because they think, oh, well, I could just repent. You see what I'm saying? I repented about a lot of stuff, but I still had to go through that fire. Shit, Paul repented. Paul still had to go through that fire. So who you think you better than? You think you ain't finna have to go through shit? You see what I'm saying? That is crazy. So you're going to be trotting down as the mire of the streets, man. It said, where is the Lord thy God? Every time you bring up the Lord, they got more fuck shit to say out their mouth, man. So, right, let's see. Isaiah chapter 32. In verse 1, it says, behold, a king shall reign in righteousness and princes shall rule in judgment, right? That king that's going to rule in righteousness is going to be Yahushua. Under him, King David. And the princess that's going to rule in righteousness is going to be 144,000. The new government, in the kingdom of heaven. It says verse 2, and a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind. What's the wind? The destruction that's coming to this place. And a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. So imagine yourself, you thirsty as hell, dirty, stink, ain't took a bath, ain't took a shower, going through it, ready to die. And you crawl upon, you can't even walk no more, and you get to crawling. And you stumble across a freshwater river. It's clear as day. You look at the bottom of it, you see some salmon floating in it. You see what I'm saying? You see some tuna swimming in it. You see a whole ecosystem. And you don't see nobody by this water. That's what it's going to be like to have a man of the Lord in a time of trouble. Lord said, a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind. The wind is a destruction, thermonuclear destruction, man. And that's what you have to understand. You have to watch your mouth and understand who you're talking to. It says, verse 3, and the eyes of them that see shall not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken. That's what it's gonna be like in Jacob's trouble. You've been talking shit to this man for 30 years straight, just to see the glow in a young woman's eyes when she hear this man talk, and how she have a spirit of where was this man my whole life? And this is the very same man that you've been looking down on. You see what I'm saying? And the Lord make his heart incline to that woman more than you. So now you go sit your ass over there in your own tent, and I don't even want to sleep with you no more. You know, I'm just coming to make sure you got some food. You feel me? And that's gonna be when now you finna pay for all that shit that you did for me for these years. Now I generally don't want to be around you because the Lord has showed me that there's something better than you out here. And now the Lord done gave me better. And now you over there looking stupid as hell. So right. So it says, and the eyes of them that see shall not be dim. They're gonna be glowing. How is this man? This man is a God. And the ears of them that hear shall hearken. They're going to be listening. They're going to do everything. They're going to do everything that he tell them to do. You see what I'm saying? Well, your dumb ass over there, you know what I'm saying? Just like Michael. So, right, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 4 and verse 1. It says, in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. And that's what's coming. You going to have niggas going, right, why is that coming? Because 2nd Esdras chapter 16 is coming to pass. Why you sit right here dancing and playing and TikToking and shit? So this is Isaiah chapter 16 and verse 32. Verse 33. It says, the virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The woman shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Right. It's going to be a nigga shortage. It says, verse 34. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So, right, and that's just what it is. And only man that's going to stand is the men of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yashai. Those that spent their time, seeking this wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and truth and sincerity. And your dumb ass been walking with them the whole time. Now you're there looking stupid. You see what I'm saying? When you see this woman's eyes glowing, beautiful woman, glowing. Because she ain't never seen a nigga shine like fine gold. She ain't never seen a brother shine like fine gold. And for all you brothers out there, y'all gonna shine like fine gold. Right, this is Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than a golden wedge of Ophir. And that's just what it is, man. So it ain't gonna be in Jacob's trouble. It's gonna be a lot of closed mouth. And all that rolling your neck, that shit black woman. It's gonna be a lot of quiet ass black women in that day, man. So this is what we need, man. We need all hell to break loose. We need Mr. Trump to keep on doing what he doing. Ultimately it's Yahweh Bashim Shai that controlled the heart of kings. So right, the Lord said, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, and we can't wait to see it. So right, we can't wait to see it. The Lord's gonna make us more precious than fine gold. All right. And in that day, that same woman that looked down on you like you wasn't shit all these years because you ain't had no money, because you were trying your best and you ain't have it all together, that's gonna be the same one that's fighting to be the line leader. She gonna be fighting to maintain that position that she once had. The whole time she ain't respected when she had it, man. I pray this lesson was edifying. Shalom, on to the next.